Albert Einstein was considered one of the greatest scientists of the early 19th century, a genius. So once he was diagnosed with the idea of autism, how come he is still considered a genius when in modern times, and especially kids with autism or any other neurodivergency, are treated differently than anybody else? They are treated like they are obviously different, and yet they should be treated equal. They deserve to be treated equal. They are socially shamed and bullied for their differences from others, and I have seen the harm the stereotype causes through my sister Raina, and how she is treated just because of the things that make her who she is. This is Raina. She's 14 years old and loves anything sparkly or glittery or just basically anything from the movie Frozen. She is treated differently and shamed if she talks and acts immature for her age, or that she's too emotional and can't take a joke. People specifically with autism have suppressed and hidden the things that can potentially out them as autistic, and it brings great tolls onto them, including my sister. This type of hiding is called masking, in which a person changes their social behavior, which conceals the behavior that might be viewed as socially unacceptable or weird. Not only does masking hide its true emotions and actions, but it is tiresome and overwhelming to do. I see this in my sister, who often has difficulties with being in public for a while, and at one point was easily reacting to any difficulties with a fit, whether in public or in the comfort of our home. Home is a safe space where any emotions hidden throughout the day come out, whether sadness or anger. Raina never seems to hide her personality, though. As she once was extremely shy, she is now super outgoing, bold, and just confident with really any interaction. She's probably spoken to more workers in person and on the phone than I have. It's honestly super funny to listen or watch the interactions just because she gets straight to the point, but with please and thank yous. From when she was literally hiding behind my parents when meeting a new person, to now going up to any kid her age, introducing herself. She has more social confidence than anyone I know and isn't too afraid to show it. Still, this comes with a negatively seen issue. Her friends she interacts with and loves to talk to for hours at any day consider her overbearing or just talking too much. And I admit it too. I sometimes don't want to talk with her either for the same reasons. However, after my many years of subconsciously trying to change this behavior, I realized that the people who love and care about her need to embrace her for who she is, because Raina does her best to keep her friends liking her and to spend time with a family all together, and doesn't nitpick our so-called flaws. People with autism need to be accepted for who they are, rather than ridiculed or ostracized from friendships just for their social skills and individuality. Another issue is the inclusion and how people with autism are seen. Since autism is a spectrum, there is obviously the high-functioning autism and the lower-functioning autism. However, these labels are considered harmful as moods and other variables change their abilities and functionality. Terms like high support and lower support needs are considered better, as people with autism can be better grouped under the specific daily help this person needs. Society tends to put all people with autism under a generalization, in where low support needing people are told, "I never knew you had autism." And since most consider those with autism are all the same on the higher support needing side, there are many who are highly in need of daily support, but there are also people with autism who do not need such support, or a mix. So when people with autism are put in this stereotype, many people's reactions are to treat a person with so-called disorder or disability as they are mentally impaired and in need of constant support. They then are treated like young children or elders, caring for them very sweetly and gently, as they do not want to overwhelm or confuse them. This goes along with hyperfixation, as many people with autism have specific interests or topics they absolutely adore, and this is known as hyperfixation. And as I said earlier, Raina loves Frozen. Other people would say that love is an understatement, as she has a bunch of Frozen merchandise and was a Frozen character for Halloween probably 3 years in a row. Had a birthday party themed by the movie Frozen, etc. But now, as she is 14, many people would consider her crazy and immature and childish to have interest in Disney princess movies. And this goes for many hyperfixations people do have, as they can be deemed childish and are treated the age their interests seem to be for. On the plus side, no one has to struggle with gift ideas. Treating people with autism like there's something wrong with their brain function and their social awareness is something to be stopped. Shows like The Good Doctor and The Big Bang Theory spread light into how people with autism are aware and can academically succeed. Raina is really good with electronics and a variety of video games. So not only do many who are considered to be on the low support side of the spectrum have the ability to keep up in a conversation and do their best to do so, but they can also be extremely intelligent in the things they are interested in. As everyone's brains work and act differently, everyone is able to do things that others might struggle with, and yet are not separated with those like autism have been. Therefore, they should not be treated any differently due to them being labeled disabled and autistic, because autism is almost like a superpower at some time, not to be an insult used when someone does something idiotic. Using autistic as an insult is so harmful to anyone who has first-hand experience with autism, and especially to those who do have autism. I hear my peers at school call each other retarded, autistic, and sped, and it makes me want to yell at them. I've seen my sister cry because not just being around the use of these words, but she has been called these things in such a negative way. When using these words as insults, it further discriminates and shames the people who are dying to feel normal and treated like everyone else. Raina and probably any other person with autism has at least once wondered why they were different or why they were bad compared to everyone without autism. We shouldn't keep feeding these lies that autism is a horrible disease that has no cure, but accept, embrace, and help make those with autism comfortable and able to feed themselves. As someone who is outside the autism spectrum but is experiencing the tolls autism and other special needs have on individuals and others around them, being able to interact with other teenagers who are in somewhat similar situations as me really helps me feel comfortable with my experiences that we share, as we are not alone. Organizations such as Warmline provide me the opportunity to speak and learn so much about myself and my relationships with my siblings, as well as giving me a place to communicate with other kids my age who go through the extra struggles our families face. While you may not be a sibling or directly connected to someone who is facing these challenges, then please take this message as a means of being open-minded to the fact that not everyone's normality matches, and that it's a beautiful thing that we should be celebrating, teaching ourselves about, and most of all, extending out kindness. Thank you.